Everyday heroes among us. The sun rose over a bustling community, casting a warm glow on the streets. Soft, uplifting music played in the background as the rhythm of daily life unfolded. Children laughed as they rushed to school, neighbors exchanged friendly greetings, and shopkeepers opened their doors to welcome customers. Yet, beneath this cheerful facade lay untold stories of struggle, resilience, and the quiet heroism that often went unnoticed. In this vibrant neighborhood, everyday heroes walked among us, their stories waiting to be uncovered. Among them was Ms. Johnson, a dedicated teacher who spent her weekends organizing free tutoring sessions for struggling students. She believed every child deserved a chance to succeed. It wasn't just about teaching, it was about making a difference in their lives. However, Ms. Johnson faced a growing challenge. Budget cuts threatened her after-school programs, and she feared that many of her students would fall behind without the extra help. Meanwhile, John, a compassionate healthcare worker, found himself overwhelmed at the local hospital. The emergency room was packed, and the staff was stretched thin. Every day was a chance to help someone in need, but the pressure was mounting. One evening, as he tended to a particularly difficult case, he overheard a conversation about a community health fair that was being planned. It was a chance to provide free health screenings and education, but the event was in jeopardy due to a lack of volunteers and funding. John felt a spark of hope. Perhaps this was an opportunity to make a difference beyond the hospital walls. At the local shelter, a group of volunteers dedicated their time to feed the hungry and provide support to those in need. Their selflessness was a testament to the human spirit. However, tensions were rising among the volunteers. A disagreement about how to allocate resources led to a split in the group, with some wanting to focus on immediate needs, while others pushed for long-term solutions. The shelter director, overwhelmed by the conflict, worried that the division would undermine their mission. One day, as Sarah, a young woman known for her quick thinking and bravery, was walking home from work, she noticed a commotion in her neighborhood. A crowd had gathered around a house where smoke was billowing from the windows. Panic set in as she realized that an elderly neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, was still inside. Without thinking, Sarah rushed toward the house, her heart pounding. She had always admired Mrs. Thompson, who had shared countless stories of her youth and offered her homemade cookies. Now she felt a surge of determination to save her. As Sarah entered the house, the heat was intense and the smoke stung her eyes. She called out for Mrs. Thompson, her voice barely audible over the crackling flames. Just as she spotted the elderly woman slumped on the floor, she heard a loud crash from above. A beam had fallen, blocking her exit. Panic surged through her, but she pushed it aside. With all her strength, she pulled Mrs. Thompson toward the back door, but the flames were closing in. Just when it seemed they might be trapped, John, who had rushed to the scene after hearing the alarm, burst through the back entrance. Together, they managed to pull Mrs. Thompson to safety, just as the fire engulfed the room they had just escaped. The community rallied around the heroes of the day. Ms. Johnson organized a fundraiser to support the shelter and the health fair, using her connections to gather donations and volunteers. John, inspired by the day's events, took charge of the health fair, enlisting fellow healthcare workers to provide screenings and education. Sarah, hailed as a local hero, used her newfound recognition to advocate for fire safety and emergency preparedness in the community. However, the challenges were far from over. As the health fair approached, a storm threatened to derail their plans. The forecast predicted heavy rain, and the outdoor event was at risk. The team scrambled to find an indoor venue, but options were limited. Just when hope seemed lost, Ms. Johnson reached out to a local church that had a large community hall. The pastor, moved by their cause, offered the space free of charge. On the day of the health fair, the storm raged outside, but inside the church, the atmosphere was electric. Families lined up for free health screenings, and volunteers worked tirelessly to provide information and support. The shelter's volunteers, now united, set up a booth to raise awareness about hunger in the community. The event was a resounding success, drawing in more people than they had anticipated. As the fair concluded, the community came together to celebrate their achievements. Ms. Johnson, John, Sarah, and the volunteers shared their stories, highlighting the importance of collaboration and resilience. They realized that their individual struggles had forged a stronger bond among them, transforming their community into a network of support and kindness. In the weeks that followed, the impact of their efforts rippled through the neighborhood. Ms. Johnson's tutoring program received funding from local businesses, inspired by the health fair's success. John continued to organize health initiatives, and the shelter thrived with renewed energy and purpose. Sarah became a local advocate for fire safety, leading workshops and ensuring that everyone knew how to respond in emergencies. Everyday heroes like Ms. Johnson, John, and Sarah reminded the community of the power of kindness and compassion. Their actions shaped the neighborhood and inspired others to be better. They learned that even in the face of adversity, they could come together to create change. As the sun set over the community, casting a golden hue on the streets, the heroes reflected on their journey. They had faced challenges, conflicts, and moments of doubt, but through it all, they had emerged stronger and more united. The stories of their heroism would continue to inspire others, proving that even the smallest acts of kindness could lead to extraordinary outcomes. In this community, the everyday heroes walked among us, their stories woven into the very fabric of life. They had learned that true heroism lies not in grand gestures, but in the quiet determination to make a difference, one act of kindness at a time. And as they looked toward the future, they knew that together they could face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their mission to uplift and support one another.